Hello, everyone, and welcome to Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Tonight is going to be a necessary episode. We are talking about self care at the workplace. We spend a lot of time at work, but do we ever think about self care and how we approach it and really how important it is? If not, we're going to get right into it. But first, I'm going to play this intro.
For the queen, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun-kissed goddess, heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti, black girl magic, melanin popping, whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, dog.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in to Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. This is a podcast about mental health and wellness. And each week, I promise to deliver relevant topics that can affect our community in such a positive way. All right, let's get right into it. Housekeeping. Wherever you're listening from, why don't you drop a hello in the comments section? Also, let me know where you're tuning in from. As well, if it is the replay, make sure and type replay. And if this is the audio podcast, can you please give a sister review? You're out there. I'm almost at 30,000 downloads. So I need to see at least 10,000 reviews. Come on, talk to me. All right, we're going to get right into it. Tonight is about workplace self-care. I'm going to have one of my guests come out of the waiting room. And if he looks familiar, it's because he's been here before. Hello, Deon.
Hello there. Hello.
How
everyone.
are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good this evening. Glad to be here. Thanks so much for the invitation to come and share.
Listen, thank you for saying yes. That's the important. Listen, everybody, this brother stays busy, and the proof is in the pudding. We're going to talk about it. But you've been doing okay?
I have been doing fine, for sure.
You look so relaxed, always.
Self-care. Right. Self-care. Good self-care. Very, very helpful. And practicing it and trying to practice it, teach people about it, model it.
I like that, the model of it. Yeah. So I did this similar topic about 3 months ago, and it was on workplace burnout. But I thought that this was a very good part two to get a different perspective, and especially coming from another Black man, because I had a Black male therapist on. So I always love to have a variety, but I saw this as a part two to the first conversation. So let's get into it about workplace self-care. So Deon, this is a little stat I picked up. Did you know on an average, a person spends more than 1/3 of their day, which is 5 days a week at work?
Sounds about right. Definitely sounds about right.
Yeah. And self-care is important to weave throughout the day, including at work. So it's important to take a little time throughout the day to prioritize self-care. And that is from healthysd.gov. And some of the benefits of self-care at work is to help reduce stress, prevent chronic disease, help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. And what sticks out to me the most is the stress part, because I've had some toxic work environments and I never practiced self-care whatsoever. I didn't know if it was a thing.
Yeah, I see that. I think a lot of people they don't know what that is or what that looks like, or they're even maybe have some ambivalence, some anxiety, some fear around practicing self-care at work too.
What do you mean about the fear?
Fear of, everybody's idea of what self-care might look like for them at work, and fear in the sense of maybe the organizational structure of their particular place of employment, or their supervisor or their manager. And we'll get into some specifics, and I have a few different case examples as well, in reference to workplace self-care and what that means, what that looks like, and different things I've share and had to share and will share with clients of mine for sure.
Oh, well, let's get into it then. So, what would you consider, what is workplace self-care?
Sure. So, well, when we talk about workplace self-care, well, in general, let's go back a little bit. Self-care itself has to deal with focusing diligent, intentional effort in, taking care of oneself, making sure that you are giving yourself space and time and investing in oneself, making it, the title of my book deals with my book, Non-Negotiable Self-Care, meaning
Mhm.
that my own self-care is mandatory. It's my priority. It's
Ooh,
not up for negotiation or debate. We're not going back and forth about it. I will take whatever steps or measures I need to take care of my own self-care. Now, you alluded to something earlier that I've literally talked to a lot of people about within the last month. We spend, particularly if you work for a company, corporation, agency, and I've done that for years. I'm an entrepreneur at this point. But when you work for a company, corporation, agency, entity, etc., you are spending a lot of your lifetime at that location, at that place. You're spending a lot
right.
of time, working for that person, that entity, etc. And places of employment, oftentimes they are caring about, what they're caring about is the productivity of the company, the organization, the bottom line,
Mm,
um, not necessarily as much the resources, meaning the people that
mm.
not
Wow.
necessarily the resources, meaning the people that are fueling that company or organization. So workplace self-care pretty much means, by definition, each individual, because your employer is not going to do it, so the responsibility is laid on you to do it. And taking intentional self-care, meaning staying connected to oneself and um, one's overall health and wellness in the work environment, one's overall health and wellness in the work environment. So it's
Mm,
me being intentional and deliberate, and
mhm,
um, being connected to myself, and being aware and diligent with my own health and wellness for my work environment. I have
uh-huh.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I love what you said. Ooh, I'm very triggered right now because of some toxic work environments that I've been in. And you said how they're so concerned about the bottom line and the numbers, but the employees are literally last on the list. At least that's where it has been. Not where I'm at now. My place of employment, they're actually the total opposite. You know,
Awesome.
they oh yeah, they give us self-care days once a month.
That's great.
You use it whenever you want. I mean, they are phenomenal with it, but that says a lot about a company who puts their employees at the bottom of the list but expects them to deliver and be at 1,000,000%, 1,000,000% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in the process right now as we speak of I've done a number of talks around self-care, self-care in men, self-care in young people. I'm in the process of finishing up a signature self-care talk, but I think a lot of my self-care work is going to center around all types of leaders, business, corporate, religious. So I'm going to hone in on leaders. So definitely we'll be doing a number of non-negotiable signature talks, non-negotiable self-care talks to businesses, companies, and corporations, because it
Wow.
is certainly needed.
It is. And I believe once that gets rolling, I believe if illness and chronic illness has been here,
Yep.
call outs, I can see it slowly shifting like this. You know, the scale will definitely go the opposite way. I mean, I can think of some days when I've called out because I emotionally and mentally could not handle it. And if anyone is in the chat, let me know. Have you ever experienced that or on the audio podcast? I know it's not just me.
Yeah.
Can't be. It can't be. So, what are some other examples?
So, um, let me. I have so many. I do have so many case situations and case examples. So let me share. I think within the last 6 months, a case that walked into my office. It's a gentleman, mid 30s, engaged, planning to get married,
Mm-hmm.
but his mood was very down. He was very depressed, very anxious because of work.
Keep going. I'm listening.
Sure. His work schedule started and work life started really generalizing in a negative way to every other aspect of his life. Pre-COVID, he had the benefit of fully working from home. Um, but once things started to lift a bit, he started having to go back into the office and having to go back into the office and work under different working conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So he was very down and depressed as a result of just the idea of 5 days a week. He now had to go back into the office. Whereas before he was like I am now at home working, etc. And suddenly there was a shift. And the conditions, right? We talk about the working conditions, they do matter for our self-care. So he was in the process of applying for another position inside the company and corporation. But what we had to do for his own self-care, what we started working on to help him, because his mindset was very negative and very down in the morning going into work. So to help him,
Ooh.
we started challenging him in session to incorporate a self-care um, morning routine, a self-care morning routine to help,
Mm.
yep, to help prepare his mind and emotions for the world of work.
That's
So
good.
yeah, and I think it's something that I do mention in the book as well. But self-care morning routine to help him prepare mentally and emotionally. So um, coffee or tea. He was not eating. I said maybe coffee or tea, eat some food, and either prayer or some sort of meditation. So he started incorporating that flow into his morning routine as his own self-care morning routine to help
Mm-hmm.
get him prepared when he walks into the door.
That's good. I I know I've been on autopilot. Is the alarm clock rings and then I'm gone, and I go nonstop until 5 o'clock, and then it was a routine. It was a horrible hamster wheel, but I did not start my day off right like that at all.
A lot of
So
people don't. A lot of people don't.
yeah, it's not good.
Not at all.
Was he receptive to it?
He was. He fought back a little bit. Like I don't have time. I don't have time to stop. Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna figure that out. What time do you need to get up so that you can stop at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever's in your route
Right.
to get you some coffee and something in your system.
Mm,
That morning routine matters. So, and I think go ahead.
you think what?
I think it's so important because workplace good workplace. One reason I hope I'm not jumping in front of you with the
Mm.
direction you're going to go into, but good workplace self care helps people actually be more productive, because the more you're together mentally and emotionally, the better you will do.
So before we go into how that looks, what does it look like when, I don't want to say when you're not productive, but when you're not practicing workplace self-care? For some people who didn't even know that that was a thing,
Sure.
or they thought that waking up and going on autopilot, that is the norm.
Sure. It starts to look like an individual not being their best self, the best version of themselves as far as work. It starts to look like an individual not being as productive, and it starts to look like an individual, he or she being burned out, stressed out, just on overload.
Ooh.
And then then in some cases people do malfunction. So it's a good workplace self-care is a good way to avoid burnout.
We don't want burnout at all. Have you ever been burnt out from a job?
I was burned out before, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's not a pleasant experience. And when you're burnt out from work, it just throws your whole system off.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what does it look like when you do practice good workplace self care?
Okay. Well, first, it looks like it's an individual who he or she is making themselves a priority. They go into their work environment more assured of themselves, more confident and competent, more confident and competent in the work that they're going to do. That individual typically has better working relationships with people that they work with, and
Mm,
and overall they get the job done well
wow.
without them personally experiencing negative effects.
Have you ever had a client that did not like any of their coworkers?
Nobody, nobody. No, not I've had people not like a lot of their coworkers, but
Mm.
generally people are able to find one or two. And if a I do when I do a I do a biopsychosocial spiritual evaluation with all of my
Wait,
clients.
whoa, whoa! What is that? I don't know. I'm not a therapist. What does that
Oh,
mean?
okay, that's a good point. That's a so I do I do a
Wait,
bio.
wait.
So it's called a. All right. So it generally there's a biopsychosocial. It's an evaluation where we are asking and doing a thorough history, biography of the person's life, their upbringing, their childhood, medical, social factors, environmental stuff, a lot.
Oh,
I add a, and mine is very thorough. So, we talk about a person, what brought them in. We talk about their upbringing, their childhood. We talk about their psych history, if they've had any. We talk about their medical patterns and history. We talk about their education, their legal, where they grew up, their social network, their social supports. We talk about substance use and abuse. It's a legal stuff. Um, I've added spiritual, so I do a bio, psycho, social, spiritual. Most graduate schools is like bio, psycho, social. I added the spiritual component so I can understand and know if that person is connected to a particular religion, if they're in it, they follow it, or if that person has a particular sort of general spirituality view or meaning that helps guard them life. So my question to people in my first session is, um, are you connected to a particular religion or spirituality? Because that makes it very um, open.
that's interesting. I remember when I started therapy, similar questions were asked, not the spiritual part, but I never knew that that was the term: bio, psycho,
Social.
social, spiritual.
Well, most people will say biopsychosocial. I just add a spiritual part to mine, but
Very interesting.
yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
I love learning new things.
So all therapists and licensed social workers or licensed therapists who do a initial session, we all are trained generally to do a biopsychosocial
Hmm.
first.
Okay.
First section. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Well, let's talk about your book. That's what I really want to hear. Can you tell everybody the name of your book?
I sure can. So
Yes.
my book is called non-negotiable self-care. It is called non-negotiable self-care.
Okay.
So
And why did you name it that? What was the
uh,
genesis?
that's a good question. I don't know if I've been asked that particular question like that. But that's a very good question. Um, One, I wanted something that readers would see and it would really stand out as a theme or subject and topic. And I wanted something that really motivated people to want to, a title, to invest in their own self-care and to understand that it's not something negotiable. Non-negotiable self-care. The book is a one-stop shop for all things self-care related in a variety of settings. It caters and connects to a wide array of demographics. It
Ooh.
aims to share with readers what self-care means and what it looks like. Non-negotiable self-care, it examines the multiple reasons that people neglect their own self-care, and
Ooh.
it seeks to share ways to escape that trap.
Ooh. Why do you think we neglect our self care?
There's a section in the book about self-care and the neglect of it. Um,
Can we
Guilt.
talk about it, but not too much because we want them to buy the book?
Oh
But
yeah,
give them a teaser.
trust me, there is so much in this book um, that we can discuss that people will still need to buy the book because let me give you an example. For example, let me share something else about the book because and you'll see what I said. So non-negotiable self-care, it reaches out to men. There's a section for men, women, couples, public and private employees, clergy, marketplace leaders, organizations, as well as seniors. I've gotten a lot of feedback that this book reaches and touches and deals with everybody. Each chapter addresses various tools and tips for each demographic to intentionally incorporate non negotiable self care. In addition, each chapter concludes with a clinical case study vignette. I wrote this book myself. There was no ghostwriter. Here's the book right here. This
Thank
is
you.
this is my book, Non Negotiable Self Care. And you
Wait,
see,
lower it just a little. No, no, go back a little. Yes, so the people can get
sure,
a picture of it.
This is my book, Non Negotiable Self Care. It is on Amazon for $20, the paperback, as well as it is in a Kindle version. It's not on Audible just yet, but that's a future project for me. But it is in book version and Kindle. And I wrote the book myself, and I took 7 months for every weekend, several hours gathering the organization of the book, what I wanted to be in it, how I wanted it to flow. So there was no ghostwriter or anything like that. I did this first book at least. We'll see what happens with uh, subsequent books, but the first one at least, I did myself. Each chapter concludes with a clinical case example of somebody that I have worked with over the years who struggled with their self care, and then there's a list of exploration questions to challenge the mind of the reader to think about that case in the context of self care. So it's a lot of we can talk about anything in the book because there's too much in the book for we won't be able to talk about everything in the book. Trust me, so much in there. So
So let's do this. Oh, and blind guy Laquita is so funny. She said, "No, tell us now, please." She is so funny to me.
talk about anything in the book.
So do this. Go to open the book and just pick a random page or go and just, yeah, let's work on the fly.
Well, how about this? Since
Okay.
tonight's subject is, we can do that two parts. Let's maybe we can share some more, do some more. I can share. There's some things I jotted down earlier, and
Yeah.
from the book we can. There's a section on workplace self care. So if you want, we can kind of tidy that up some, and then hop around if you want. That's
Let's
fine.
do it.
Okay.
I'm
So
excited.
let me share some things about workplace self-care, why it's important, and let me reiterate this, why it's important. Go ahead.
And before you do that, everyone, I just dropped the link, his Amazon link in the live chat. So just go right ahead, click on it. At least you can see the book, what it looks like. You can either buy it now or save it, put it in your wish list, but it's right there. Okay, go ahead, Deon.
Nice, thank you. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So why it's important to engage in your self-care work? Because places of employment will, some places, some, I don't want to overgeneralize, some places of employment will take advantage of you. They will take advantage of you, your time, your
Triggered.
efforts, sorry, your
I'm
time,
triggered.
your efforts, your intellect, your schedule.
Ugh.
So, you know, you have to be the person responsible to engage in your own workplace self-care. Story time. Friend of mine, another state, friend of mine from my school days, reached out to me suddenly, from the, I'll say this, from the West Coast. Um, and I was shocked. He called me, um, was dealing with some stuff mentally already, but in addition to that, he had some workplace stress going on because his supervisor suddenly wanted, with the type of work that he does in like a clinic hospital setting, they wanted everybody to now take their breaks on the unit and not leave. And part of my guy's self-care at work, he would go get in a quick 30-minute workout, maybe 3 days a week. So
Oh, that's good.
that was, that was part of his self-care list for work, right? His own, what I tell people, this is just another plug, just something for people. Create your own self-care toolbox, right? A list of self-care
Mhm.
stuff that works for you. So that was part of his. So he contacted me because he was frazzled, his anxiety, and I said his name, and I said, listen, this is not a directive, this is not mandatory, this is a preference that this boss would want. I said, and that's going to be increase your stress, because getting off of the unit, and I talk about this as one of the tools, getting off of the unit or off of the workspace was healthy for my guy and beneficial. So I said, you have a right to be assertive, not aggressive. There's a difference. Be assertive, stand up for yourself, and
Mhm.
share with him that is something that you need to take care of you in your own self-care while at work. Now, what are some ways, I talk about this in the book, while you're at work, what are some ways, there's a whole section about self-care in the workplace, what are some ways for you to take care of yourself at work? And I'm gonna tell you, I talk to so many people, individual clients. I've done presentations for loads, hundreds of infection control people, whole bunch of people. One big problem that people have, as far as what does that look like, workplace self-care, so many people do not take their, I was about to say another word, do not take their daggone breaks.
Oh.
Breathe. And your employer, a lot of times your employer will take advantage of the fact that you don't take your break. They will allow you to stay in the office on the unit,
Jail.
work through your break, et cetera, et cetera. It is part of your own self-care. And again, looks like, do we get some comments? It looks like people made, looks like I can see the comment thing lit up. But it is your responsibility to invest in your own workplace self-care. So what I tell what I tell everybody, what's important, what I tell everybody, take your breaks regularly. And part B of that, leave the office space, leave the corridor, leave the unit, go somewhere else. It is incredibly refreshing for your mind and emotions. I practice it every day. I'm in the offices now with clients doing half in person, half hybrid. I get out of that office. I go take a drive, go get some air, go pick up some more coffee, lunch, something. Get out, so that's part of workplace self-care. That's one.
Yeah. The comment, I laugh. Blind guy and his wife said,
Oh,
anytime away from coworkers is self-care for me.
okay, that's fair.
Yes, it is fair because this is story time.
Sure.
I've had some extreme, let me back up. I've had an employer that was extremely toxic. And then the co-workers were just as toxic as the employer. It was horrible. So I understand when she said sometimes you do need time away. It's like a restart, a refresh.
Yeah, it really is. Another way that people can invest in workplace self-care is to use your scheduled time off or away. Use your PTO. Take a trip. Take a vacation. I've talked with a lot of clients who struggle with the hospital or the office or the unit or the company is short staffed. They can't afford for me to be off. No, listen, it is your time. You earned it. It's your paid time off. Take it and take your trips. Take your vacation. You deserve it. It is vitally important that you do that.
It is. It's not. I know some people, they wear as a badge of honor that they have 800 million hours of PTO. This mine stays at 0, okay?
Good.
I and I know you use yours.
I do. Well, now I create my own, but
Well, true. This is true. So what's next on there? This is some
sure.
good stuff.
So number three would be assertive. Be assertive and speak up for yourself. A lot
Mm.
of times people are fearful. That's what I was mentioning earlier. People are fearful in the context of work environments and settings. They're fearful to talk about what they're thinking or feeling because of they may scared. I don't know if I can say this to my manager or my boss. It's so in these toxic environments, workplace environments that are sometimes create this culture of fear. I'm sorry, I'm triggering you again. It creates this culture of fear.
You can see it on my face.
So see what you have experienced is the experience of a lot of people. That is one of the reasons why when I wrote the book and the chapters, the chapters about the author, I talk about my own personal struggle with self-care. I have the readers do a self-care assessment. I talk about what non-negotiable self-care is, therapy as self-care, rest as self-care, the self-care for couples, men, women, clergy, the workplace, seniors. There's something called the self-care core 4. If you follow me on IG, I posted a post and a video about the self-care core 4 this week.
Wait, self-care for what?
The self-care so the self-care for seniors, then there's what I call the self-care core 4.
What is that?
Okay, yes, I told you see so much. And then there's 12 steps to incorporate self-care into your life. Briefly, I went to New York in February to support a great friend of mine. He's called we talk just about every day. He's a really cool guy. He's called the Black Therapist. Aaron Mueller is his
Oh
real name.
yeah, I love his Instagram.
Aaron's the truth. Aaron's the truth.
Ooh.
Aaron's doing a lot. And he's about 10 years younger than me. And he's doing a lot.
Is he?
He works in the school
I
system.
didn't know he was that young.
He works in the school system. He's a licensed therapist. His wife's a psychologist. She wrote a book. They run their practice in the evening. They have 2 little kids.
Mm-hmm.
He has a nonprofit. He's doing a lot. And we talk all the time. And so he actually maybe 2 years ago or pre-COVID, when I was just working, and I was content at the time working in my office with just my clients. He actually was one of the people that I followed on social media who inspired me, and I tell him all the time, who inspired me to do more and get my voice and my message and my sound out. So, once I started moving. But a number of my clients that I would talk to for years about self-care, they said, "Oh, they call me Dr. Brown." Like, I'm still Mr. right now. Like, Dr. Brown, whatever. Dr. Brown, you're doctor to me. Okay, whatever. So you got to write a book. You got to write a book because you talk about self-care all the time. So I just started. But the self-care core 4. So let's do that. So let me see. I'm typing. So there's another one of my colleagues. He's doing a lot too. His name on IG is called True Story. It's called the Juggernaut Therapist.
Oh, I love that name.
Yeah,
that's dope right there.
His real name is Pernell something. I forgot the last name. Pernell. But he's kind of shaped like, you'll see. But he's in shape. But he has his head, you'll see. But I guess he created it himself. But he's doing a lot too. So we were on a platform, and I told him I was in the process of writing a book, and I had these self-care core 4 items, and I said I need an acronym. So he came up with this acronym for me: RAN HIGH. RAN HIGH. So the R means, I'm typing it in the chat. The R means rest.
Mm-hmm.
Taking some time to rest, do nothing, and or sleep. It's taking time to rest, do nothing, and or sleep. That's the R in RAN HIGH, right? You think about the concept RAN HIGH is kind of.
Can you put it in the public chat? Are you able to?
Oh, how about that? You mean the comments, right?
In the comments, yes. Click to the public.
Let me see. So I went to comments.
If not, I can drop it in there for you.
Okay. I don't think it's letting me type anything in the comments.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. So you want me to keep putting it in the private chat and you transfer it over?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So the RAN HIGH is the acronym, and the R stands for rest, and that means to actually sleep or to rest and not work and not do much. The A stands for activity or movement. So activity or movement, getting in some sort of exercise, some sort of activity, walking, jogging, riding a bike, Zumba, aqua Zumba, lifting weights, doing cardio, doing yoga, hot yoga, whatever works for you. It's getting in some sort of a Peloton, getting in some sort of activity. That's what the A stands for.
Here's an activity. Blind guy and his wife said, my sister started taking smoke breaks, even though she didn't smoke, once she saw how many smoke breaks others were getting. Wow.
Okay. Well, that's going back to, and that's going back to, that's fine. That's going back to, that's workplace self-care, taking breaks. And a lot of people in workplace settings abuse those little workplace smoke breaks. So good for her. So then the N in the acronym RAN HIGH. See, I told you there's so much stuff in the book. It's not just because I wrote it. There's a lot of stuff in there.
I see.
And then the N has to deal with nutrition, because what we put in our mouths and eat and drink and take in matters. The ends. So, and it affects us too. There's this whole psychology about the integrative medicine and nutrition and its effects on mood. I think I'm going to be going to a CEU about it that talks about the effects of food and how it affects our mood in the sense of depression, anxiety, stress, etc.
Really?
Yes. So nutrition, I think I have the brochure over there on the ledge somewhere. It came to my house. I think it's a either in person or webinar offered by Pessy. So I'm gonna probably do that probably.
Okay.
Mm. And then the last part of the acronym. So we have the R, which is rest, the A, which is activity or movement, the N, which is nutrition, and where a lot of people, is one close by? No, it's over there. Okay. Where a lot of people struggle with is what they drink. So we have, while I love coffee, I drink about a gallon of water a day now.
That's amazing.
So we have the HY is hydration, right? So the acronym ran high, and you think like a runner's high, ran high, like a runner's high. And so I break it down as a page or two where I talk about this self-care core four. And I tell people, if you can master, you as an individual can master these four items, you're not the self-care god at that point, but you are doing very well as far as taking care of your investing in you, right? Self-care is about investing in you.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you're doing very well in taking care of your own self-care, getting in your rest or your. So how do I practice ran high myself? I aim for at least 6 hours of sleep per night. There are times where with the R where I don't do anything productive. I just chill and do nothing. How do I practice the activity? The A, I work out 5 days a week now.
You do. I see your post. This is so true.
See,
Very true.
I got the receipts, right? Okay.
You really do have the receipts. And you know I'm a bone collector when it comes to receipts.
I believe it. I believe it. And then I have the receipts as well with the nutrition. I post a lot of nowadays. Because I'm actually about 8 pounds away from my goal weight, where I'm gonna
Nice.
pause and reassess with my health coach. But nutrition is about what you put in your body and how, because what we eat fuels our body. So, and then there's the hydration. So, like I said, I drink try to drink a gallon of water each day. So, ran high is the acronym for the self-care core four, and it's broken down in the book. So there's when you see the acronym in the book, there's a paragraph that talks about what rest looks like, paragraph that talks about what the A for activity looks like, paragraph that talks about nutrition, and a paragraph that talks about hydration.
So we have a comment. She says, I've got the rest and nutrition down. Now, she does have the nutrition down. You need to go to her page, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life. Serious.
What's the page?
It's called, excuse me, not the page, the YouTube channel, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life. And she has a lot of plant-based meals. And that's one of my favorite parts of her show. Her and her husband have it. And I look at it as it's like a talk show. A morning talk show. It is so cool. And she has videos of her plant-based food, and it's so good. It is so good. And I wish she lived in the same city as me, because I would use her like a Uber Eats or something.
What city?
I think she's in North or South Carolina. Queen, if you're still on here, drop where you are. But yeah, she isn't near you. I know where you are, but she's in between us.
Okay.
But yeah.
But let me comment. That's awesome. Congratulations for having the rest and the nutrition down, because you're already steps ahead of a whole lot of people. So you just have to work on the activity level and the hydration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you can get these four down. You're doing very good with your own. A lot of people struggle with these four. So when I was writing the book, I was like, I need like a core four. But my guy, the Juggernaut therapist, when I was on a platform with him, I found out he was like the king of acronyms. So I said, hey, I'm almost finished my book. Would you mind? So I was about a month out from finishing the manuscript, and I sent him a message, and I said, would you mind this is what I'm going to be talking about. Would you mind working on an acronym for me?
Ah,
Oh yeah, use the people in your network. Use the people in your network.
yeah, that is so true. I'm going to think of an acronym
Mm-hmm.
other
Yeah.
than BGGTST. My Black girls getting their shit together. But that is a very good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. One of the things, when you talk, when we go back to workplace self-care, how do we, so how do we promote it? How does how do we promote it at work? So the promotion at work, I think, I love what you said earlier. I'm shocked. That's awesome that the place of employment gives a self-care day.
Every month, one day each month. Yes. You
That
don't
is,
have to give an excuse. You just put your time in and they approve it or not. And more often than not, they do approve it. And if they don't, it's because maybe there's a huge project, but doesn't mean you won't get it on that day, but you are going to get it that month.
mhm.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. I think a way that's awesome. I think a way that employers can encourage and promotes workplace self care is to encourage their employees to actually take their breaks. Um,
We have a few comments. Oh, hey,
mhm.
Celeste. Celeste said, yes, rest, especially as Black people. We are not we are not used to taking rest, but it is so important for our mental status. I agree. I can't stand that. Can we normalize getting rid of that team no sleep or sleep when you die? That is absurd to me. Oh, he's stuck. Deon.
I'm not stuck.
I swear to God, I thought you're froze.
No, I'm not stuck. I was actually looking at a comment.
I thought your screen froze.
Yeah. So
Oh my
one of
God.
there's a section in my bestseller book, non-negotiable self-care. Let me do this again. There's there's a section, that's me. There's a section in the book, and it is on Amazon. There's a section in the book where I talk about rest as self-care. And many times we, particularly men, but everybody in general, struggle with the concept and the idea of having to be productive 24/7. I have to do this, go here, I got to do this, produce. No, you need to pause, stop,
Why is that?
rest. I think part of it, I talk about societal messages, culture. I did a talk recently with some people. It was males and females, and we have this whole, let me go very cultural for a second. We have this whole, go get the bag thing going on right now, right? Go get your money, do what you have to
Yeah.
do. Okay, and that's okay within reason, but you need to stop also. You need to pause, you need to rest. So for me, being an entrepreneur, most of the time I'm not resting unless I'm away traveling, or if I am the gym is a part of my self-care toolbox. So it's why one of the reasons why I go to the gym, for my mental health. Plus, I want to be healthier. But also, I have my own self-care toolbox, right? Things like going to the movies for me is
Yeah.
a form of rest for me. So we
Mhm.
have to find ways to rest. And so let's say, right, we equate production to our value. And the truth is, you do not have to produce 24/7. That does not mean, it's not saying anything negative about you because you're not producing. Now listen, I have this many things I want to do, need to do, projects, ideas, etc. I realize I can't do them all, and I can't do them all at once. I have to do them in segments. For example, this was the production of this book. This was just one of my goals, projects. So, but there's other things, and there are people already like, "When are you gonna write your second book?" No, stop. No, you don't push me.
Right. Boundaries.
One reason this book was so good and successful and became a bestseller in 10 categories on Amazon the week it was released.
10 categories. Really? I
10,
didn't know
10
that.
categories. 10 categories.
Wow. That's impressive. Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's
There were
amazing.
a bunch of new release categories. And my the guy who helped after I wrote the manuscript, the guy who helped move things along, he was keeping track, and he had about 8 books out already himself. He was like, you wouldn't believe it's a bestseller already. I was like, what? So yeah, I hadn't even hardly had my launch day officially. It was like the launch was like 2 days away. So, and then when it launched, it really started hitting a bunch of other categories. But our investment in our own self-care has to be intentional, has to be deliberate, has to be purposeful, and you have to make it non-negotiable. And sometimes work settings, family settings, friend settings, setting limits and boundaries. Talk about that in the book. Trust me, if you don't have this book, and again, I am, but I'm not promoting it just because I wrote it. But it's a lot of great stuff around self-care and how to make it non-negotiable for literally every demographic. The only demographic I didn't include in some sort of way as far as tools or tips is children and teens. So I might have to do a children's something later. But yeah.
You want to read this comment here?
Oh, that was
you can read it out loud.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm in Southern Virginia. I actually do use my rebounder and get plenty of hydration. I would just prefer to lie down and eat. That's funny.
Okay. I don't know. I thought she was in the Carolinas. I don't know. One thing I wanted to touch on before we finish, I noticed you said self-care for couples.
Oh God, yes.
Let
me open the book.
I have to ask you now because your schedule is always so packed. I want to catch you while I have you on now. Because I probably won't be able to get to you until 2024.
No, you can. So now you're funny. So now I'm hybrid. So now I'm working in the offices and I'm working from home. So like so Wednesdays I'm actually working in my right now I live in Baltimore County, and I use an office in Baltimore City. So what I did today, I saw my in-person people, or most of them, and I told the other people I left the office around 3 to beat traffic so I can come, and I did some in-person, some virtual stuff. And so I was home. So that the time frame worked out. So we can always work out a Wednesday now if I just need probably like a month's notice.
Okay. I will work with that. Yes, sir.
Work it out. So couples, what about couples self-care? What about it?
Well, before I say that, we have
I just had a comment. Wait a minute. Look, we might have to you just write it down now. We're gonna have to do a whole segment, obviously, because
No, I'm for real. Can we do it? I will send you the link for next month.
Absolutely. But it would definitely where am I? Yeah, I'm going away twice I'm going away twice in August, but we might be able to do it at the end of, I think I can either the end of August or early September. We'll work it out.
Okay, self-care for couples. Everyone listening, if you want to hear about self-care for couples, put a number 1 in the comment section. And Blind Guy and his wife says separate self-care for couples, right? So I get my own time. We've been together for 30 years. Wow, that's a long time. So
that is a lot.
That is. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. Drop a 1 if you would like to hear about self-care for couples.
And let me just say concerning that, just a precursor to that, there is a whole section in the book about self-care for couples, and we can
give a teaser for what's about to come for September.
Oh, okay. You want a teaser? So I'm gonna just
tease us.
So, I'm gonna read straight from the book. One of the 7 tools or techniques. Wait, I don't know. Should I tease that? I mean, that's a strong tease.
Can you do 3?
Okay.
Oh, so we got a 1. So that means you gotta come and do
couples. So I'll say that this is the teaser. One of the things I talk about for couples is the importance of scheduling sex. You said do a teaser. It's a teaser.
That's a teaser. Okay, let's talk about it. Yeah. So, is that especially for couples who have kids, or you mean in just couples in general with no one in the house, a lot of people in the house?
So can I do a reading?
Absolutely, please do.
Last but not least, it may be critical to schedule time for romantic and sexual moments, especially if both are very busy. If sex is an important part of the relationship, it becomes essential for the couple to assure they are not neglectful of each other in this area. Having quote unquote some scheduled sex time does not diminish the spontaneity of the relationship, but also helps add on special reserve time for one another. A couple engaging in scheduled sex is a couple that is taking time also to invest in each other.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
I like that.
that may be important sometimes for couples to do. They can have the spontaneity. Now, one of my guy couples, he's a little older. His wife doesn't really. There's no she one way, one time of the day, one location, no spontaneity. He don't like it, of course, but it's so
Yeah.
we're so we're so we're so
Like
we're
sis.
working through that, right? Yeah. So
Wait. So
yeah,
Les said that's only if you're not already doing it on the regular.
yeah, you can do both. I also one of the things I want to mention too. I also, like I said, I've been busy. So in addition to the book, I also launched a digital self care product line. So I have,
You
yeah,
you've been holding out on me, sir.
I've been
Really?
posting different stuff. Maybe you didn't see all of it, but
I guess
yes,
I was too busy calling people out on social media, and
probably is it.
I'm gonna do better. I need to
So I
do
have
self care for that.
So I have four different self-care designs in t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, hats. One of them is of course the non-negotiable self-care. It's in my brand colors are blue and orange. See, I've been working. My brand colors are blue and orange. This non-negotiable self-care. Another one says protect your mental health. Another one says working out is self-care, and another one it says self-care is like the intentional deliberate. It's a long definition. I just shared with you the link that you can share so people can go to my spread shop and order stuff if they want.
Oh, you know, we were doing the same thing at the same time. I just dropped it. I went to,
Oh, you went to the link tree. Okay, cool.
yeah, but I just dropped it. So
Awesome.
that's pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to come back and we can dive into some couple stuff because they the last teaser I'll say, it's very important for couples to have couple self-care time together and separate. So we'll yeah, that's a whole discussion in itself.
Oh, yeah. I want to,
Mm-mm, don't do it.
I'll wait. I'll wait. I can wait. I
Yeah.
can wait on it. Wow, this has been good. This has been good. I encourage everyone to go back in the YouTube, Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together in the Vault, and you will see Deon Brown. We had a phenomenal live last year. We did it on spiritual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? The comment section was lit up. So I encourage you all to go back. I will look for it. And I'll drop the link in the show description box. But Dion, did you want to share any last parting words?
I'm trying to think if so I think you shared all of the links. I will encourage everyone listening and listening in the future to definitely follow my Instagram, the underscore DMV therapist. I'm constantly posting stuff every week, therapeutic videos, infograms, messaging, etc. Clicking on the link tree, you can have access to everything that I'm doing. Just as that, it's vitally important that everybody invest in their own self-care and create your own self-care toolbox of stuff that works for you to help you invest in yourself and take care of you. If you have not already, go to Amazon and get my best-selling book, Non-Negotiable Self-Care. I promise you, and especially once you take the personal assessment to look at your own self-care in a number of areas, I promise you it's going to help your life.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much for sharing all your talents and your time with us. And if something made your soul vibrate or you really want to support the podcast, I just dropped a link in the chat. And it's if you want to buy me a coffee to help parch my throat for my next podcast, you can just click on the link right there and you can buy me a coffee or 5, and it will help support the podcast. Oh, Deon, one more thing. Guess what?
What's that?
You are a Black man that has his shift together.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm working on it.
You are. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Make sure and tune in next week. And also, I would love to more with my audio listeners. I'm going to drop the link in the description box. Join the private Facebook group so we can take the conversation beyond this live stream. We can take it into the private chat. And I'm looking forward to meeting all my listeners. And you have a compliment. Nice merch site.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I got to do better with advertising and marketing it though.
Yeah, me too. Maybe it's self-care for business owners. Be a caveat.
Absolutely.
Everyone, good night. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, share, comment. Please share this video. Please give me your review. I know you're out there listening. The analytics show it, and I'll see you in the private Facebook group. Good night, Deon. Thank you so much.
Good night. Thank you so much.
And good night, listeners. Thank you, everyone who participated in commenting. Good night.
All right.
This for the queens, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun-kissed goddess, heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti, black girl magic, melanin popping, whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, dog.